8 years. A lot happens in 8 years. And as I look back in my tenure in the Mighty Sixth, I like to think that it's all been good. That the Mighty Sixth is a better place than it was when I first came to office. Well, the Mighty Sixth District, as you know, has the communities of Lakewood, Steilacoom, DuPont, Joint Base Lewis McChord, Anderson and Ketron Islands, and West Parkland. I think a lot of times people forget just how much the county is involved in people's lives, even if they're in an incorporated area. I think some of the best work of the council since I've been on the county council was understanding the importance of making sure that we had sufficient sheriff's deputies and prosecuting attorneys in order to safeguard our citizens. And in every year I was on the county council, we added deputy sheriffs to the sheriff's department every year. I also like to think we've had a real impact on livable communities. Our whole focus on, trying to make sure that neighborhoods were supported so they could be vibrant neighborhoods, whether that meant changing ordinances in regard to nuisance properties so that we could, rid the neighborhood of some properties that were really problematic. And when I look at Pierce County now as I'm leaving after 8 years, I've seen just significant change in how the county interacts with our other communities and how we have improved in so many areas in providing services to our residents of the entire county. And I think over this last year, with the completion of some planning work that we did in the county, I think we positioned the county for the next 30 years. It's been an interest of mine in growing jobs in Pierce County to make sure that people didn't have to travel north or south in order to be employed. They could be here. These are just a few of the things that were very important to me that I've been able to work with other council members on over the last 8 years. And I hope through the end of all of this, I've been able to be successful in doing right by the residents of Pierce County. I learned more about the Mighty Sixth by doing my Pierce County Trivia series because we went out into every part of the community and had experts from the community or people from their historical societies happy to talk about. And so I think not only our residents learned from that, I certainly did. That's part of the fond memories thing too, right? I mean, going out and recording those things, meeting people in the community, learning about their history that they were very proud of. Those are also fond memories. I got lots of fond memories. In fact, I'm the Bob Hope of the county council. Thanks for the memories. I've got a lot of them. The department staff at Pierce County are just tremendous. I did a whole series of videos called Behind the Scenes Pierce County because I really didn't think that the public necessarily knew all the things that happen in county government. I certainly didn't. Just the myriad of things that our road crews have to do in order to keep traffic moving in the county, that was an eye-opener. I think about what goes on every day. I mean, right now we're in winter. Fortunately, we haven't had any snow yet, but we made up for that a couple of years ago with tons of it, during Snowmageddon. And those folks are working, 24/7, keeping the roads clear, making them de-iced, ensuring that people could get out to work, helping to remove downed trees so we can get power reinstated to homes. There's all those kinds of things that happen. But no, I was kind of excited about the ability to go out there and not only use the chainsaw, but learn what those folks do all the time, clearing, trees out of the street. But also, I will admit I don't think I'd ever snowplowed before, other than on skis. So that was fun. I mean, just figuring out all the things you have to do in order to turn not so clear water into clear water and return it, to the community safely. That was a big deal. I also learned that, recreation's a huge part of the county. I mean, what our parks and people do all the time, the things we make available to people. I mean, I was just out there again this year with Fantasy Lights. It's unbelievable. It's our biggest crowd attractor, if that's a word, in the county, of the people that, and particularly this year where you can do it safely, and all the work that goes into creating those displays every year, getting them set up, how long it takes to set them up, and then to run that thing all the way through the end of New Year's, that's huge. And that, of course, goes with our major recreational places such as Sprinker Recreation, which, is just, I think, a gem in the community, with the climbing walls, with, the largest skateboard park, with acres of woods where people can walk through them. We even added bumper cars this year on the rink, but that comes a close second to my fulfilling my lifelong dream of driving a Zamboni, which I also was able to do during my 8 years on the council. On the open road. This is great. I've thought about driving one of these my entire life. I'm not going to try any donuts with this thing. Well, I tell people all the time, Anderson Island and Ketron are very interesting because they're really on their own. I mean, they're separated from the mainland by a body of water, right? And you get there to and from on the ferry. And the ferry has to be on time. It needs to, keep on schedule as best as possible. We've made real improvements in the whole ferry program. There are things that attract people from off the island a couple of times a year to do things, whether it's the apple squeeze or whether it's the salmon bake that raises money for the Historical Society. All those things happen on the island. It's very unique. But if you have never done it, that 20-minute ride, particularly if it's a bright, sunny summer day with the unbelievable views of Chambers Bay, of the mountain. I've loved every minute of serving the citizens of Pierce County, and particularly the residents of the mighty 6th District. So I want to thank all of them. The relationships that you develop with the mayors of cities, the city councils in cities, that's all a team effort. So you got to thank all of them, because there's not a major issue that I can think of that I didn't pick up the phone and talk to my mayors, in the district, or council members in the district. I've heard from people across the district and across the county, and I value all of their input tremendously. Thanks to my personal staff, as well as the entire office of the county council. And they've been very supportive of not only myself, but the entire council in drafting legislation and getting things done. It's not work if you love what you do, and I love what I do. And on that note, I also should thank my wife, Charlene, and kids and my grandchildren for putting up with an elected husband, father, and grandfather. All of my grandchildren were born during my 2 terms in office on the county council. And if you've watched any of the videos I've done, you've had a chance to watch them sort of grow up. And hope that in making a place a better place for everybody, that included them.